So one of the things, though, is a lot of people list that they do comprehensive advice or holistic financial advice, financial planning. I think in those situations, when you market in that manner, you do need to look at things like insurance. What bothers me when you say, hey, I do comprehensive planning, comprehensive advice, or whatever it might be, then you go in and they don't do any insurance. They don't do retirement plans. They don't do banking. They don't do tax. They don't do estate. I'm like, but like, you're not holistic then. Like, you're not comprehensive. You're doing a portion of things. And it's
Yeah.
perfect. And it's actually perfectly fine and very normal as a fiduciary to limit your scope of services based on your expertise. So like doctors, while there are general practitioners, what they don't usually do is go deep into any one area. They just send you out for it. And they send you to a specialist that then does it. And that's an okay model, right? Is here's all the other specialists I pulled together. Here's my insurance partner. Here's my 401k partner. Here's my tax partner. But to ignore them and say you're comprehensive is a problem to me. But if you say, look, like I'm investment management, I do investment management, I don't do insurance, there's nothing wrong from a fiduciary standpoint there because you're not telling the world that you're comprehensive.
I had this conversation with Kitsis when he came on the show. I was like, hey, like fiduciary, but what's a fiduciary if you don't offer all the solutions? And his point, which I completely agree with, was, well, if you don't do it, then you should just be real and say, hey, we don't specialize in that, but here's a referral. The problem is when the advisor's like, well, I don't do that, but do everything here instead because they don't want to refer revenue out the door, right? And so I think that's the thing, like, to your point, if you're going to be a holistic advisor, be one, like actually like follow through on that promise. But if you're going to say, hey, I only specialize in this and not this, you've got to be willing to say, that's not me, go out the door and maybe go work with this guy. And I just think that's sometimes hard, especially a beginning advisor that needs the revenue to survive as a business. So what's your take on that one?
Yeah. No, I think I mostly agree with that, right? I think that generally you should be open to referring business out to the world. I think ultimately that will be good for you. Now, the challenge becomes is finding the right partners to refer out to, because what you don't want to do is, be somebody who starts referring all your clients away and then the person you're referring to them is taking your clients. Like, look, like
Yeah.
you won't exist then. So any good you were going to do the world, like you still have to think about that part of it. And look, that's why lots of people, I don't know, I should pick on any companies, but like you just think about like there's companies that offer certain services, but if you refer your clients to them, the next thing they're doing is they're trying to get your client all the way there. So then you can't partner with them. You have to find good partners that kind of adhere to that line. And in the insurance world, 100% those partners are out there where you can go work to them and refer the insurance business out, and they don't try to steal all the assets or steal the planning from you or commandeer the client away. So I think that is, that's definitely doable, but I understand the fear around it. But as you look at mid and large size wealth firms, including where I am now today too at Bryn Mawr Trust, like the convergence of services, which is where we started this one, is occurring because it's what clients want. If you look at surveys about individuals and what they expect to receive from their advisors is they're saying, I want investment management. We do it pretty well. They say we want financial planning. We do that pretty well. But then after those top two, like there's this huge gap between expected services like insurance, tax, trust. Another really big one is actually business owners want business exit planning help from their advisor. And it's only like 1% to 2% of advisor firms offer that type of help today. There's this huge gap in expected services and actual services delivered. And so if you're just paying attention to that, people want a service and we're not delivering it. So bringing insurance in-house, bringing tax in-house, bringing 401k in-house, bringing investment management and planning and business exit planning in-house. And what I say by that in-house is either do you buy it, do you build it, or do you partner? All of them work, right? So you have to find the right partners, buy it or build it. And, we're definitely seeing that shift. You're seeing it in the 401k space today, that consolidation, advisory firms happening into it. You've seen it in the insurance space. I think more so with partnerships, though. A lot more I'd say RIAs and wealth firms used to have insurance in-house, and now I see more partnership-oriented in that. I don't know that I have the numbers to back that up, but I think the number of agencies has decreased. So my guess is, right, like you could kind of prove it out in that side. And then tax services, you're actually seeing that move from referrals to CPAs to coming in-house. That was the one where everybody referred it. And now they said, you know what, we don't really need to refer this out because CPAs, guess what, your business isn't worth that much, so we're going to buy you and wrap you in here. And that's been a really interesting dynamic. And that's not an insult. It's just saying, look, the market is saying you're worth 2X and we're worth 9X, so we might as well bring you here instead of referring the revenue out.